All right, thanks for sticking around for the #1 Cochran Sports Showdown. I'm Rich Walsh in for Bob Pompiani tonight. We have a lot to discuss with another all-star panel to do the discussing. Our Steelers insiders Mark Kaboly and Chris Adamski, and also from KDKA Radio, it's Paul Alexander back on the Showdown for the first time in 20 years. And we're going to talk about the Steelers rookie minicamp. Obviously, the Bucks blew one out west, but we want to start with maybe the biggest topic of the last 4 days. Where's Aaron? Aaron Rodgers is lost. Is he even here? There's no photos. There's no videos. Maybe no meetings. We don't know anything. But Mark Kaboly might know something. Give us the latest information. Where is he? When is he going to sign?
There is no latest information. All I know was it's a very good likelihood he was in town. But I wouldn't actually sell my house pretending like that's the truth, right? I wouldn't put my house up. I wouldn't bet my mortgage. That's the words I'm looking for on that. But I know that he didn't have a meeting. There was no meeting scheduled. They are continuously talking with the agent, but that doesn't mean the agent's in town. I think that's been going on for a while now. I've said this for a while now. We have no idea why if he's in town, which he probably is, why he's in town. Maybe he's, like I said before, maybe he's coming to somebody's bar mitzvah or something like that. Maybe he's going to a birthday party of Cam Hayward. Maybe he's talking to his good friend Mike McCarthy. But it gets blown out of proportion a little bit here. But we don't know. We don't know where he is. Anybody knows where Aaron is, feel free to message me on the Xbox.
I've had a bunch of messages. What are they talking about, Chris? I mean, what could be possibly talking about right now? If you're coming back or not, I don't understand.
I mean, at this point, you got to follow under Aaron being Aaron, right? Yeah. I don't know. I feel like last year at this point, I was getting annoyed. I think the whole city was getting annoyed. It was sort of, this year it's like, we've seen this before. And he showed up, and he was better than I think on the field than we thought, generally speaking. I don't want to speak for everybody. I think that in the locker room, he blew me away with how good he was with everybody there. It was whatever Aaron being Aaron is, out of the locker room and off the field, whatever that might be, within that building, he was totally fine last year. You could say whatever, they didn't win a playoff game, I get it, but in terms of what he could offer, and whatever, even showing up late last year, again, whatever his flaws, the offensive flaws were, I don't think him showing up in March last year versus the first week of June, it would have made any difference. So just have faith that he'll get over the.
You don't care.
What is it?
What I'm trying to get at is what is he after? What does he want to do? I don't understand. He has nothing left to prove. He's a 4-time MVP. He can't move anymore. He doesn't want to stand in there and take a hit to make a throw. He's not going to win a Super Bowl again. None of that stuff's going to happen. He can only really harm his legacy at this point. And for the Steelers to hang on to this, it makes no sense to me at all. None whatsoever. He's not going to win you a Super Bowl. Now you're going to be a year further away from that franchise quarterback that you have to have before you're going to win before you're going to win a playoff game again. Mm-hmm. You need a franchise quarterback, and at 43 or 42, going to be 43, he's not a franchise quarterback anymore. He's a pretty good quarterback.
Father Time never loses, so you're in the camp of you don't want him back.
No, it makes no sense.
That makes sense to the Pittsburgh Steelers, though.
But why? For like what, non-losing?
No, well, we don't know this. It's a whole new
all
staff.
He guarantees is non-losing. He does not guarantee contending.
Yeah, I keep saying this. Aren't you a little bit intrigued with the new staff and some of the new weapons? What might happen if everything comes together? You're willing to give it one more year?
We're all 40 plus here, and every year past 40, you feel worse. And this guy's going to be 43.
Maybe that's why he's not here.
Are we sure that he's going to help this team?
That's why he's not here. Maybe he's getting some full-body massages somewhere. I mean,
maybe Pittsburgh has better darkness than other cities.
I don't know. I think he lives by you.
Maybe he's here for 4 days of nothing but darkness.
I think Mark brought up a good point there, though, that I think unequivocally this year, or it's not debatable that the receiving core is better than last year.
Yes.
That this isn't a shot at Arthur Smith, but I think the play caller is better than last year. The offensive staff, the offensive scheme will be better than it was last year.
Maybe. But
Aaron will be allowed to use the entire field. Yeah. He'll be allowed to throw over the middle. He'll be able to use like a guy like Pat Freiermuth. Heard of him? He's on the team. You can throw to him. But I just don't understand. You need to be looking forward to contending. And now we're going a decade without a playoff win. Why are you hanging on to be above average? Why are you hanging on to have another winning season instead of and it all goes back to Ben Roethlisberger became a Steeler because they went 6-10 the year before. it's not a bad thing to have that cycle of the NFL, the whole parity, the whole concept
Art
is.
said it's more important to win. He wants to win.
I understand that, but they haven't won a playoff game in 10 years. That's more important than anything. Do you think the next Super Bowl champion, when they win, you're going to go back and go, but you know what, 3 years before they won that Super Bowl, they had a 6-11 year.
Philly had a bunch of bad years.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Hey, we're going to talk about Drew Aller here in a little bit, but you were there Saturday. I mean, he has a ton of talent, but first thing that jumped out to me, he's going to need some time.
There's no question about it.
So you throwing him in there now is just not an option, man. And I would assume
But
Will
Mason
Howard,
Rudolph is an option.
Well,
Can he get you 10 wins into the playoffs?
I agree
this
with you on that. I agree with
right?
you, Mason Rudolph.
And the one thing Mason does at 6'5", he stands in the pocket and will make a throw and take a hit. And I don't blame Aaron at his age. He's done doing that. And think about the biggest plays that are made in the NFL. It's a quarterback that stands in the pocket, takes a hit just to make a throw. Aaron's
So
done
maybe the
doing
biggest
that.
question is the offensive line going to be better this year to protect him?
Well, I mean,
on paper,
there's a question mark at left tackle right now. You don't even know who their left tackle is at this moment. Although I do think, for much as rookie minicamp is rookie minicamp, right? You never want to read anything into it. The fact that Maxi Honachor was at right tackle tells me it's the first little hint, a little nugget that Fautano will move to left tackle, and then maybe that solves your left.
Or
tackle.
maybe Jones is healthy. Or maybe Broderick Jones is healthier than we think.
Until next week when we're watching OTAs and Troy Fautano's at right tackle too.
Exactly.
That could happen.
Well, it could be. I mean, you throw Dylan Cook over there, and if you're not sure the Honachor at right tackle right now, you're going to have the backup plan right there. So do you want to mess with Fautanu back and forth? I mean, you could really screw him up if you keep moving him back left and right, which has potential this year, depending on how Honachor.
See, that combination, think about Honachor and Aller in 2 or 3 years. I mean, they could really be a factor. Honachor has such a ceiling. I mean, this guy, he doesn't have much experience. He's played football for 5 years when he moved to this country. But his unbelievable potential, and again, potential means you haven't done it yet, but the future could be great. But why do you try to win now while you should be building for that?
All right, back to Rodgers. Does he sign? Doesn't he sign? When does he sign? I still think he signs, and it's going to be right before
Here's
minicamp.
another crazy
right?
thing. Maybe he did sign today, but they're just holding it back until Monday or next Monday when OTAs start. We don't know. He's going to sign. I still put it at 99.9% chance, and I think he'll be here anywhere between May 18th and May 20th.
Could it be what Charlie Batch says? Could it be about money?
But it really, Paul, come on, we're
He's
talking
not
about a
getting
couple
$30
million bucks here.
Yeah, I don't think it's $30 million. I mean, I don't understand why he didn't sign earlier and just say, I'm not coming until minicamp. I'm going to sign and get it out of the way. I'm not showing up until minicamp. Is that okay?
Because you would be complaining.
I wouldn't be complaining.
Who cares?
You would be complaining.
I would not be complaining.
I'm not a complainer.
I'm complaining that he's coming
What
back.
would you
period.
complain about? Signing and not
He's
coming
not showing
voluntary or not signing? I don't know. Again, we went through this last year. It's like everything will be fine. He'll be here and we'll totally forget about him not being here.
He'll throw 5 touchdowns
that's
week
all
one
I care
against
about.
the
I don't
Jets.
even care anymore.
And we'll think boy, he's really, we should extend him. Hope he comes back for another
That's my
year.
favorite. 2 years ago, let's
back.
extend Russell Wilson. Let's extend Justin Fields. Let's extend Aaron Rodgers. And then the next guy comes up. I don't know.
Now everyone wants the young guys to play. Will Howard, Drew Aller. And speaking of Drew Aller, we're going to talk about him coming up next. The Steelers just wrapped up the rookie minicamp, and we're going to break it all down and discuss after the break. All right, welcome back to the #1 Cochran Sports Showdown. I'm Rich Walsh in for Bob Pompiani. The Steelers just wrapped up the rookie minicamp, and maybe the most impressive rookie was the quarterback, Drew Aller. We saw a cannon of an arm, and all the coaches were over there working on his footwork, checking him out. Chris, what do you do about Drew? He's got to make the team. There's no question about it. We heard Paul in the last segment. He wants him to start. He's the franchise quarterback of the future. But what do you do with him? Is he going to be their third guy? He has to be, because you can't put him on the practice squad. And that question followed up by, what did you take away yesterday and the day before?
Yeah, he's the only of the 4 quarterbacks in question, only 3 of them actually on the roster at the moment, which is 100% will be on the team, on the 53-man roster this year.
Yeah.
There's no doubt about that. In terms of the draft pick, it was the perfect pick for the perfect year for this, because you have the 3 third-round picks, for one thing. You have a guy who was literally hired as coach to develop quarterbacks. So you take the high-ceiling guy in the 3rd round who, true serum, they probably don't think it's going to work out either, but he is the highest ceiling. He has a chance to work. It's not unheard of to think with his skill set and what he can have that you get Mike McCarthy and you get good coaching around him and put.
He would have been a first-rounder last year, though.
Probably. And,
so,
and by the way, I did not say he was going to be the franchise quarterback. And he was horribly mishandled at Penn State.
Yeah.
When you saw him come out, when he became the starter, throwing the ball over the yard, he was unbelievable. Then they put in this gimmicky offense. Instead of making him a pro-style quarterback, they did all this gadget stuff, and it was just awful. They did not take advantage. And Terry Smith came out and said that. He just said, we misused our quarterback. I have no idea how good he's going to be. No one does. But you can't teach 6'5". You can't teach the release in the arm. And if they do teach him a little better technique in terms of his footwork and reading defenses and coming up a little bigger in big games, well, man, I love his upside. I mean, he's certainly worth a kick in the tires. But I was thinking on the way in that Tom Brady is still haunting the Steelers. Uh-oh. You probably want to know why.
I'm a little worried here.
Well, because he was a 6th-round pick. When was Dwight Howard picked?
I mean, Will Howard.
Will Howard. Dwight Howard, Will Howard.
Will Howard was a 6th-round pick. Yeah.
So everyone says he can be a franchise quarterback just like Tom Brady. And who won a Super Bowl in their 40s?
Somebody named...
Tom Brady.
Tom Brady.
Okay, go ahead.
Who's in their 40s? Aaron Rodgers. He's going to come in. So now, just because of Tom Brady was a 6th-round pick and was, the GOAT, and also won a Super Bowl in his 40s, the Steelers are hanging on to both of those things. That Will Howard's going to be a franchise quarterback, just like Tom Brady, and he's going to win a Super Bowl.
All right, if Will Howard is a franchise
Brady.
Quarterback, why would they waste a really good 3rd-round pick?
Because you never know, man. Well, honestly,
they're in win now mode.
I think that's
Mark,
fine.
They're
Win now, but you better look to you better look to the future too, man. They're trying. That's why they hired Mike McCarthy. They said, "Go get us a quarterback." So they got the guy with the high ceiling, the cannon arm. The guy's played at a high level at a big school now, and I love what they did with him at minicamp. Let's break him down to bare bones,
start
man.
over.
Start over. We got time. We got time to mold you into it. I'm the quarterback whisperer, the quarterback coach. We have faith in the offensive coordinator as well. Let's see if we can build him into it. What's the worst thing can happen? He stinks, and you draft another one and throw that against the wall next year. That's what you're going to do.
I think Will Howard's issue is the same as Duck Hodges, was the arm's not NFL arm capable. Duck did everything right. And I remember watching, when the Duck stuff was going crazy, I went, everybody settle down. The arm's not there. Everything else is there. And once the secondary realizes this guy can't get it past me, and the closing speed of defensive backs in the NFL, you don't get to be a really decent quarterback with an average arm in the NFL. It just doesn't work. Yeah. The windows are tight. That deep out that you have to throw, the ball has to zip there or it's going the other way. I don't think Will Howard has the arm.
In his defense, we haven't seen anything from him at the pro level. I'm willing to see what he got.
Oh, sure.
Absolutely.
I'm not against that. He won a national championship in a big-time environment. I have nothing against him at all.
One thing that it's kind of came to me over the past week or so is like your point about, and I totally understand that point of view about why bring Rodgers back, you're trying to rebuild. Instead of looking at it that way, I really think, and judging by, and I think this is genuine, that Will Howard really took to Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers took to Will Howard last year. I think that Mike McCarthy, Omar Khan, the coaching staff, sees Aaron Rodgers as part of the development of Will Howard and Drew Aller. They see him as being a good influence and helping and fostering that.
Can he help both, though?
Well,
what's the dynamic in that quarterback room going to be like?
There's some.
No, the problem is what we said earlier.
How many reps?
Which one do you keep?
Yeah.
One of them has to go.
I mean,
Mason, Will, or
Mason.
Well,
Mason
I think it's going to come down to Mason and Will. If you
or you hope,
hope.
I don't hope you are fortunate enough that somebody might break a fingernail that lasts them. Put them on the IR for the year, if you know what I mean.
It's a
wink,
tight,
wink.
It's a tight hamstring.
I mean, I do think I think you could sneak Will Howard or maybe Mason Rudolph on the practice squad.
I don't think Mason would go to the practice squad.
Yeah.
I think Will's the only chance, but you talked him up so much for the past 3 months, somebody would be like, boy, I might be interested in this guy now.
And that might have been part of the plan. Just what they do for the draft. You throw out a lot of very not necessarily true stuff out there.
I don't know. I feel like he says a lot of that, and that's great. You have the back of the guys on your roster, but then, okay, Mike, and we tried. Why do you like Will Howard? Well, he's a winner, and it's just like a bunch of we love working with him. I've always watched him on TV.
We watch his practice.
Yeah, we watch his practice.
And the point
tape.
being, if you love him that much, you don't waste the third-round pick on Drew Aller.
I'll give you this: that Will Howard is out there 45 minutes after everyone else. He might be the hardest worker on that team.
He's going to be a coach.
Yeah.
Honestly,
He might be a Kevin O'Connell and be a head coach a decade.
You know,
from now.
there's nothing against this, but he could be a great backup quarterback in this league for a decade, if worse comes to worse.
I mean, they kind of used him as a coach late in last year. All right, we got to take a break. Coming up next, we're going to talk battling Buccos who blew one in San Francisco. Back in a couple minutes. All right, welcome back to the #1 Cochran Sports Showdown. I'm Rich Walsh. The Pirates really blew it out in San Francisco this weekend, dropping 2 out of 3 to one of the worst teams in the majors. Paul, this was a bad. They needed this win here today. They get to extras. Your bullpen blows it again, and then Ryan O'Hearn, who saved the game in the 9th inning, had 2 bad plays that lost the game for him.
Well, after last year, when they pitched lights out and couldn't score any runs, they decided that, well, we're not going to be a pitching and defensive team. We need bats. We're going to go get bats. So they went and got a lot of bats, and they scored 6 runs today. Last year, if they scored 6 runs, that was an automatic W. They were going to win every game they scored 6 or more. In fact, 4 or more, they would have been in the playoffs last year if they averaged 4 runs or more. But they sacrificed defense, and O'Hearn gave one up today, and they can't find the right fit in the bullpen. They have some good live arms in there. Jared Jones could be an answer. You know, Majinski could be moved to the bullpen. Jared Jones. They need a reliable middle reliever that they don't have, and they don't have a lights-out closer. Soto's been really good. Santana not so much. So normally the Pirates have been really good at putting together and piecing together bullpens. This one's not good.
Yeah, and I'll start it off by saying one thing. I hate the ghost runner. I know maybe it not applied that much today because we went to
What
the 12th.
about the DH?
No, ghost runners I just can't stand it. I think it's dumb.
I'm not a big fan of it either.
You know,
I know.
It just puts teams in bad situations. But, you know, these are games. What would we say now? Maybe 6 of these games you look at and say, they probably should have won this game. And that's going to come back and bite a team that's right on that verge, playing in a really good NL Central, that maybe you don't get into the playoffs, maybe you don't reach 500 because of these games. These are games they have to win, and they're finding ways to lose them.
Paul's right, though, that they need to address the bullpen, I think. I think it's clear this team can be in contention. You feel good, health, everything. You assume health, of course. The rotation will be fine. I think the offense is good. And I think they strike out a little more than I'd like, but if you're averaging 5 runs a game, or as they are, that's enough to get you in the playoffs. Offensively, I'm not going to worry about it. It's just the bullpen. I think if they are in contention, and it seems like they are, and they're certainly kind of going all in this year in terms of having some of these guys on, allows on an expiring contract, things like that. I think they will, because at the point where it's Santana, I don't know if you can trust him right now. It's really, you're pretty much Soto, and then you kind of just pray anybody else can get through an inning or two.
Well, we have about a minute left. Jared Jones will be back in less than a month. So what do? I don't want to move Carmen Majinski to the bullpen just because he's probably their third or fourth best starter right now. And what would you do with Bubba Chandler? You don't want to move him to the bullpen. You'd have to send him to AAA. So I don't know what they do. I mean, I like Jared Jones as a closer. That's not going to happen because he has the good stuff, and we talked about this earlier. They've got to go out and get someone, Paul, right?
Yeah, I think they need another arm, and it might be better off to get a left-handed starter and then move Majinski into the bullpen. He could be a great guy 6th, 7th, 8th inning. I know he's pitching well as a starter, and Jones is the ideal wipeout closer. That might be 2-3 years down the road. I know he feels that he's a starter. He certainly has the stuff to be a starter, but they have a lot of arms that they need to find a place for everyone to fit in, and that's actually not a problem.
Yeah,
they just need to figure out how to work it out.
Who would you trade, though? Would Keller be #1 on that list?
I don't think you can trade Keller. You're in a position to win. You're in a position to win this year, get to the playoffs.
You got to give something to get something.
You're right about that, but I don't know what you give up right now. Yeah. I mean, but they need to add some arms to the bullpen. There's no question about that. All right, we need to take a break. We're back in a couple minutes talking about what you do with Evgeny Malkin. #1 Cochran has gone all in on Audi. 2 showrooms, 3 locations for service. Pittsburgh's largest new Audi collection. Exclusive benefits through Club One Rewards, because when you are a #1 Cochran Premier brand, you don't take half measures. Find Audi Pittsburgh on Liberty Avenue in the Strip District and Audi Washington on Racetrack Road. Shop online at AudiPittsburgh.com or AudiWashington.com. Welcome back to the #1 Cochran Sports Showdown. What do you do with Evgeny Malkin, Paul? Do you keep him? I think he's worth 1 year, $5-6 million.
If you didn't even know who he was, don't even look at his resume, he's averaging a point a game. He's going to ask for like $5.5 million. That's an automatic sign. And he played so hard toward the end of the year, showing everybody and telling everybody, I want to come back. I want to play.
Yeah, he said it.
He's earned that. He's simply earned that, and he's producing. It's not like if Chris Letang was saying the same thing, I might have a different answer because he gave away a lot of games down the stretch.
And he has to come back.
He does because his contract.
Yeah.
But I think you sign him. I don't think it's. I think it's.
I agree. I think you sign him too. But at what point do you move on from a 40-year-old?
I mean, the
you
Steelers
move
on from
have
Aaron
been really
Rodgers.
good at that. How about the
Explain
Penguins?
yourself now.
Yeah, Gino's willing to take a hit. He goes into the corners. He keeps playing the game the way
He's
he's
also
always
willing
played
to
the
get
game.
suspended for 7
and get suspended
games.
for a couple
He can also move. He is still a very fast skater.
Are they going to win the Stanley Cup next year with him?
No.
Here's
Then
the,
why
here's
keep
the
him?
thing.
I love
There's a
Gino,
misnomer
too. I
here
love
that
him.
the Penguins are this young team that he's blocking. I don't know who he's blocking.
No one.
Yeah.
There's not really that many prospects. I mean, they've done a great job getting the playoffs this year, and they're doing a great job kind of building these draft picks, but there's nobody there in Wilkes-Barre who is ready to be a second-line center or second-line
And if
winger.
Aaron's going to help the quarterbacks, there's a couple Russians that
it.
Gino can help too. Chinakov comes to mind.
Plus, they have $46 million. I would like to see them go get someone big with that money if they can, but I also would like to see them keep Evgeny Malkin. All right, we got to take a break. Back to wrap things up coming up next. Stay right there. All right, that's it for us. Thanks for stopping in on such a special day, Paul.
Well, 99% of the great athletes are there because of their moms. Happy Mother's Day, everybody.
Hello, Mom. Go to bed.
Happy Mother's Day to my mom, Sandra, my grandmother, Florence, and of course, my wife, Kelly. And to all the moms out there, I appreciate you watching here tonight. Have a great night, and we will see you later.